I am a mother and a wife now.
Wow.
Completely different. I did not see this coming at all the last time we sat down.
You know what's so interesting? When I thought that there may be a little window open, is I asked you about Nelly and the time that you had dated that first time around. And I was like, I asked you, what did you learn from yourself in that relationship? And you said to me that he checked you because the way you used to talk to him. And that he would say, we don't talk to each other like that.
Yeah.
Like, and you thought that made you better.
Yeah.
And
I was open to what he was saying. Like, I was listening to what he was saying instead of being angry and mad. Yeah.
How come? Just because of how he was?
Because
like, what shifted in you?
I think growth and maturity, and if we're being completely honest, he said that to me like super early on. You know what I mean? Like, this was like, my mouth is crazy. Like, my mouth is like a pirate, like sour. Like, it's disgusting. So, I just used to, and I'm from New York, he's from the Midwest. So, they're different. Like, they're very polite and very, and I'm very, very early on in some of our conversations, a little heated, he'd be like, yo, you're not gonna talk to me like that.
That's what we're not gonna do.
This is what we're not gonna do. Yeah. So he told me that very early on, and I was like,
this was the first time when you were dating.
Yeah, this was like the first go round. Mm-hmm. So I was like, nobody ever said that to me before, But when I received it differently the next time around, you know what I mean?
This time around.
Yeah.
Oh, he had to come back and check you again?
No, the mouth is not crazy anymore. It's good. Okay. It's calmed down. Only when provoked.
Don't be nuts.
Right.
Black women need to be checked. So this video is inspired by listening to Ashanti talk about how Nelly was the only man that she ever dated that checked her. So in this video, I want to talk about why it is important for black men to check black women. I didn't say verbally abuse black women. I did not say curse black women out. I said check. And by that, I mean be firm, be concise, be direct in your communication with black women. It doesn't mean check black women throughout an entire conversation, but it does mean be firm, be direct, be clear and concise in your communication. Women tend to love this. Black women need this. The reason why I'm using Ashanti, I think Ashanti is such a great example because Ashanti is beautiful. She's smart. Even after all these years, she's at, I think 44 years old. She still looks amazing. She seems to have a nice personality, very likable. Ashanti gives us a very good example, actually, because Ashanti is probably the type of woman that a lot of people think does not need to be checked because she comes off very feminine, the fit, feminine, and friendly. She has all those things. And when you think about checking someone, you're probably thinking of someone who is loud or obnoxious or hood or, but Ashanti gives classy energy. And I'll talk a little bit later about why I keep doing these car videos, despite what some of you think. I am not trying to be the next Derek Jackson. No. So I'll get on that. But I wanted to pop in with this because a lot of this stuff is time sensitive. So Ashanti has been doing a lot of different interviews. If you've been paying attention, she's, recently married to Nelly, also recently had a baby about 7 or 8 months ago. She's still very much doing her career and touring and on TV shows and doing a lot of different things. Ashanti is a great example of what I'm about to talk about because it goes to show that no matter how classy the woman is, all women, and you guys know I talk and focus specifically on black women, all women need to be checked, and we like it. That's the part. We like it. And a man who is willing to check us, I would argue, gives sometimes husband energy. A man who does not care, who let us say whatever we want, do whatever we want, talk to them however we want, that is not going to give husband energy, and that is going to lead to a failed relationship. Now, for some of the women, I know you're probably thinking, well, this is not fair. Why are you telling black men to check us and you're not telling us to check black men? Well, because it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. Most men are not going to respond well to being checked by a woman. If you want to talk to a, now, do you need to be assertive at times? Do you need to stand firm at times? But most women know the best way to a man's heart is not by checking him, but by being in your feminine energy and speaking to him in a feminine way. And that's actually a separate video if you want me to go into depth on that topic. But in terms of right now, we're talking about why Ashanti married, one of the reasons why Ashanti married Nelly. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Ashanti, who was single, no kids, even at I think 41, 42, she was out traveling, living a very sort of boss babe kind of lifestyle. And she is now married with a child. And I thought it was noteworthy to highlight that one of the things that stood out to her about Nelly was that he checked her. Now, again, I'm not saying there's not other things about Nelly. I don't know that much about Nelly, but I do know that in the Angie Martinez interview, that is the first thing that came up in this interview that I think is over an hour, is how Nelly checked her. And Ashanti also talked about her mouth, and that she just, she kind of credits it to, being from, I guess, New York, or being raised in New York. But she does talk about having a mouth that is not the best, a potty mouth, so to speak. And it sounds as though she was speaking to Nelly. I don't know if she was emasculating him. I don't know if she was cursing at him. Whatever she was doing, she admits to the fact that it wasn't right. And he checked her. Okay, so this is critical. You guys know I don't really care that much about celebrities, but I use these examples because obviously we don't all know the same people, but we do all know Ashanti, we do all know Nelly. So I'm finding a common couple, someone who we all know, who I can use as an example of a point. And this is actually a point that I've been wanting to make for a long time. I've been wanting to talk about checking black women for a long time.
This topic of checking women is not exclusive to Ashanti and Nelly. Jeannie Mai also talked about one of the reasons that attracted her to Jeezy was that he checked her. Eve, I have heard Eve also say that she likes the fact that her now husband, Maximilian, checks her. I was watching the Sherry Shepherd show online today, and Quad Webb talked about how she likes that her boyfriend, King, keeps her in check. So for all the people who are going to come, especially the women who are going to come and say that I'm pandering to men, it's not. I just named 4 women, and I'm sure there's many others out there who attest to the fact that a man, quote unquote, keeping you in check is not necessarily a bad thing. In particular, if the man has a plan, which as women, we like men who have a plan, that is another reason why, quote, keeping you in check or quote, checking you may exist.
First of all, if you want to check a black woman, this needs to be done confidently, and you don't have to be an alpha male. Despite all the talk about alpha males, you don't have to be an alpha male to check someone, okay? Black women are the masters at checking people. And this is coming from someone who myself, people have said to me throughout my entire life, Naka, you're literally one of the nicest black women I've ever met. Like, I've heard that over and over. Even me, I have checked people, right? And what I'm saying is, it's rare. I don't do it a lot. But black women, because of our the attitudes that we can sometimes have, and a lot of this has to do with our demeanor, our past, the way we were raised, our disposition in America, you know, our position in society. There's a lot of reasons why black women might come off more assertive at times, more direct, more, you know, insert whatever strong word you have. And even me, being as nice and friendly as I am, I also, you know, perhaps on another end of the spectrum, but still am very much capable of this. So when you are someone who is guilty or credited with always checking folks, right? Often you don't necessarily expect anyone else to give you back that same energy. You don't anticipate that same energy being thrown back at you. You, meaning black women in this case, like to be the ones dishing that out. And in many ways, we kind of like, you know, and again, I know I'm speaking for a lot of us, but we want sometimes to feel like people respect us, that people are afraid of us, that folks, you know, and sometimes it's not even like we have to say anything. We give people a look and it's like, people know, you know. So black women are masters at checking all types of people of other races, other black women, men, you know. And so rarely do we get that energy back to us, you know. Do we get that energy right back at us? And I think the best folks who can give us that energy, who get us, are black men. There's no one who I would rather be checked by than a black man, to be honest, because it's going to really mean something. You know, a white woman trying to check me, yeah, that's not going to go over very well. It's not. A white man trying to check me, no. A black man, especially a black man who I'm married to, yeah, that's different. Again, I'm not talking about verbal abuse. I'm not talking about being mean. I'm not talking about, because people will stretch this and say, oh, well, she said that you could no, I'm not talking about cursing folks out. I'm talking about be confident, clear, concise, direct in your communication. Stand firm. Tell black women no if the answer is no. Don't be afraid. A woman who is wife material and or a woman who is a good woman will not mind. She will not mind being checked by a man who she believes really cares about her. Right? If she has an issue with being checked, then she's probably not that into you. Now, we're all human. Of course, in the moment, we might get defensive, or, you know, we might, you know, we won't always react to being checked with a smile on our face. But if you are a good woman, if you are a wife, if you're wife material, ultimately you'll understand why it is important that this man had to be very clear with you, direct with you, assertive with you, whatever it is. And so, yes. And so, and the other part of this, and this part I admit probably should be another video, but really quickly, if I can, talk about, Ashanti and the energy that she's giving off. And I just want to highlight something, and I do believe that this might sting a little bit. I don't mean for it to sting. I am also a woman, similar to Ashanti. I got married at almost 42. I was 41 weeks away from being 42. Ashanti got married at probably 43 or something like that. But I just want to highlight this. And, you know, as women, we talk a lot about, let me just pop in with a reminder real quick, that here on my channel, I make things visible. So I say, you know, making the invisible visible about Black women or modern Black women. I highlight things that Black women don't typically talk about. So I wanted to say that because people will come in the comments and try to be overly scrutinize, and you have to remember the mission of my channel is to say things and to talk about things that Black women don't really talk about. So I'm saying this because I know it's something that a lot of us won't admit. Ashanti, let's go back to Ashanti. Prior to her getting married to Nelly, regardless of whatever criticisms people have about Nelly, she was traveling all over the world. You know, I think that was kind of the running joke about her, was that she was always on vacation. You know, you would see pictures of her in a bikini on the beach, and, you know, and she was living like that, living her best life, even up until her early 40s. She's now, I believe, 44. And now, because I'm seeing her do all these interviews, and, you know, she's kind of putting herself, really putting herself out there to promote her different things, that projects that she's working on. She seems to be, and again, we never know. We don't know how people's relationships really are, but she seems to be very happy. She has a certain glow about her, a certain confidence about her. And, you know, in all of these interviews that she's been doing, she's been talking a lot about being married and having a child. And I just want to say, I think what this proves, and I get that some women could care less about being married and about, you know, some women could care less about being married and having children. That's not what they want to do. I understand that. But for women, for most women, for most women, I think what Ashanti, her journey right now, to me, reveals what deep inside so many of us know to be true, which is that regardless of how much you travel, regardless of, you know, how many vacations you take, or, you know, how many accomplishments, whatever your successes are, you know, your degrees, your jobs, your projects, there is a higher tier. And again, this stings. I know it does. And some of you obviously don't want, again, if you don't want to be married or have kids, then for you, this doesn't apply. But for people who want it, there is a tier. There are levels. And Ashanti right now, it seems, believes that she has reached another level.
In real life, how happy are you today on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it about 1,000.
That's the best answer ever. 1,000. Is that every day?
I mean, it's not every day. Every day I'm grateful though. You know what I mean? You know, there's definitely disappointments and things that you want to happen that doesn't happen, but I am so genuinely happy and authentically myself with my family that whatever is not working, you roll it off and you move on.
Yeah.
Because the happiness outweighs it.
How important is that thing where you just said, like, finding somebody that you could be authentically yourself? Like, how important is that in the equation of happy?
Oh man, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. You know, if I can't walk around without my wig, you know what I mean? Like, with your boxers on and, you know, just regular, that's not for me. You know, it's so important to just be authentically yourself and have your person, and you guys just get each other without trying. You know, obviously there's going to be things that you learn about each other, and there's things that you don't like, you know what I mean? But when you can get past whatever the flaws are and you genuinely have that love, that's like magic. It's magical.
My girl said 1,000. In real life, what do you pray for most?
In real life, at this very moment, I pray for my son the most. I pray for my son, I pray for my husband, I pray for all of us, and I pray for my family. Just health, happiness, sanity, safety. We're flying a lot, we're traveling, we're on the bus. So I pray that we are covered and protected.
How often do you think about your legacy in real life? Like now, maybe now different, right? Like you might...
A little differently now. Again, being a mom, like I don't want to say I forget about myself. I just put my baby and my family kind of first. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm gonna be good. You know what I mean? I love my husband and he got us, so I know I'm gonna be good. So I want to make sure that home is good and taken care of, you know. And then legacy is like you never want to like lose yourself in your family, but I know that I'll be able to do what I want to do because I have an amazing support system.
I remember somebody told me that a long time ago when I was single. I was like, I don't have time for a man. They were like, well, you know that if you get the right man, you actually can go further.
Yep.
It never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to think a man is just a distraction. From the things I want to do in my career.
Yeah, but when you get the right one,
yeah,
you both grow and evolve.
Isn't that funny?
She's married. She has a child. And it seems like this is something that she's really wanted for a long time. And the way that she just like lights up and talks about being married and talks about being a mom, it just really proves that like how valuable and important those two things are. And I know it sounds obvious, like, Nika, well, why are you saying this? Duh. But a lot of women will deny, will downplay, will, oh, I don't care if I never have any kids, or I don't care about being married. But then you see someone, again, and I'm just using Ashanti as one example of many, who, I mean, when she was taking all those trips, nobody was asking her, oh, how was it in, Bora Bora, or how was it in Turks and Caicos? Like, and even if they were asking her that, whatever her answer was, no one really cared. I don't even think she really cared to talk about it. But she cannot wait in these interviews to talk about being married and having a child and what it's like. And again, I want to highlight that means something. So for all the women who downplay that desire, who try to act like it's not important, oh, I don't care. You care. And it's okay to admit that you care and that you want that, And I think that's something that maybe set Ashanti apart, was that she, as she approached 40 and like in her early 40s, before her and Nelly got back together, before she spun the block, she had started to vocalize here and there in certain interviews that she really wanted married and to be a mom. And even though she got dragged because, the internet was like, oh, how can you be 40, whatever, 41, 42 and not married? And, but she didn't let that deter her. And she also froze her eggs. So that's, another component to this. My theory is be leery and be careful when women tell you, oh, girl, just take your time, because you don't know whose eggs are in the freezer. So there's that. So she did admit to freezing her eggs. But yeah, I hopefully, you can get something out of this video. Now, really quick, I do want to say something about, like filming in my car. So just so you know, it's March and it's about to warm back up. So you guys might see me in my car. I might be outside. I can be anywhere. And one of the things I want to say about that, I know some people look at it as not being very professional. You guys have to realize that depending on the YouTuber, we are, many of us are juggling a lot. You know, I have a full-time job. I'm married. I have a daughter. There's all that. I have a business, right? There's so many components. And I'm also, to top it off, someone who is very like in the moment. Like when I make my best videos when it's a feeling associated with it. So even today, I was not planning on making a video. I'd already filmed something else, but I filmed this just like, you know, because also you have to remember that we are like journalists to an extent, in the sense that if we see something, sometimes we want to respond immediately or respond soon, because things just move very quickly. And so if I don't say this about Ashanti now, I may not feel like saying this tomorrow when I'm actually supposed to be sitting down filming in my house. I also don't have a studio, you know, but even if I had a studio, I probably wouldn't be in the studio all the time. So again, I know some of you don't care. Some of you probably enjoy me being in different locations, but I'm saying this for folks who are like weirded out by YouTubers who film in their car and all that type of stuff. Again, we're trying to balance life. We're trying to take care of our mental health, get outside, get some sun, running errands. And again, sometimes you just feel in the moment like, okay, I feel like I can deliver this message. Let me say this while it's in my mind in this way, as opposed to waiting until later when I'm kind of forcing it, because I kind of, you know, even sometimes I'll write down my thoughts, but then I'll read whatever it was and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this, you know, in terms of delivering the message in a certain way. So hopefully that makes sense. For those of you who do YouTube, that probably does make sense. But that's all I have for today. I have no makeup on, just some lip gloss here. So that lets you know I really wanted to make this video. So like, share, and subscribe. Click the links in the description box and get to know what I do with my media business, Curated Legacy LLC. Become a channel member. Click the link in the description box to join the Black and Invisible channel membership. And you can also hit the join button, which might be in the upper right hand corner of your screen. I have a book about being an invisible Black woman on Amazon, so feel free to click the link in the description for that. I also have a Black owned store filled with products that I have personally used for at least the last 10 years. So all of those products are approved by me. So check out my Black owned store. It is an affiliate link, and if you do purchase something, I will get a small commission from whatever you purchase. Follow me on Instagram. If you feel compelled, feel free to donate to my channel via Cash App. And I am Naka, and I am here to make the invisible visible. I highlight the things that Black women wouldn't tell you. And as always, stay tuned for more videos.